Sokka. Hey, Sokka.
Hey, what's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Pretty good. But yeah, like G-Man, I think you take this entire YouTube thing like way too serious.
Well, he doesn't have anything else. You need to remember that G-Man's a failure at just about every aspect of his life. You know, if it wasn't for YouTube, he'd really have nothing. He's like Bond that way. I mean, part of me kind of pities him, really.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So are we going to watch it now or later? Or are we going to watch Aquaman versus that Black Manta dude? Which one are we going to do? Which one are we going to see first? He-Man or Black
And I mean,
Manta?
and I'll tell you, you don't think the really obvious thing about it is that it has to be about him. Like, if you notice that when he goes into a room, if the conversation's not about him, then, you know, he gets disinterested and leaves. And it's like he doesn't actually have anything that he wants to talk about. Like, he'll never. The last time we were in the room with him, he couldn't even defend his faith.
He's right about that. He's right about that. I definitely listen to Dr. Phil. I definitely do that. Definitely.
I'm sure you do. But
Dr. Phil, and
I think he's just still animated because he was on an actual popular channel.
I also eat oranges and
being the role that he loves being, which is a minstrel show.
I think he's medicated.
You're right, man. You know, I got to buy my pads. I think I had my period the other day. I need to go get my pads.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
I need to go get my pads.
I would actually believe that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, dude. Like, you walked right into that one.
I sure did. I definitely need to get me some pads. Definitely.
I'm sure you do. Like, I'm pretty sure your vagina
Should I
hurts.
get stain-free or should I get a different brand? What do you think?
Stain-free?
Stay-free. You think I should get stay-free or do you think I should get a different brand?
You have to talk to Vaughn about that.
The DG brand. You think I should get that?
You're going to have to talk to Vaughn about that.
No, I will definitely ask Dragnet about that. Definitely, I'll ask him when I see him. I'll ask him definitely. Yeah.
Man, like, you just got my number, don't you? Like, you're just too good for me.
I am?
Apparently.
I don't like guys.
You just said you loved me a minute ago.
Women, all shapes and sizes. I like skinny women. I like big-boned women. I like big women. I like tall women. I like short women. I like midget women.
You just said you loved me a minute ago.
I just don't like transgenders.
I think he's confused.
Ooh.
I think he's very confused.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, that one cut me deep.
No way, Jose. Thank you very much. No.
Like, you just called me a transgender. Wow. Like,
I ain't call you no... Listen to me, dude. I did not call you a transformer. I did not call you a transformer. Okay? You are not...
I'm not going to lie. Like, that one actually got me. Like, I had to... Like, I had to laugh for that one. That was... Like, I will give you full credit, man. Like, that one was actually funny.
All right. Hey, Mark! Mark! What's up, Mark?
I'm here.
How's it going?
I'm just listening to
Can
this.
you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Are you sure?
You're going to make your roommates mad, man.
You know, he reminds me of my mental health patients I take care of.
Hey, Mark, why don't you laugh? Smile, Mark. How about you do some of this, Mark? Look, it's not hard, dude. It's harder to do this than to do this.
Did you guys just hear that? I think his mom's hitting the ceiling with a broom.
Hey, Mark, by the way, before I leave this,
Probably.
Mark, I love you, Mark. I love you.
Yeah.
I missed the fire alarm.
Yeah, did he finally scrape enough money together to get a battery for that fucking fire alarm? Or what?
No, I think that whoever's house he was squatting in probably came home, kicked him out. I think he's like living in an attic again.
I'm pretty sure he threw all the money away for the fire alarm to spend on construction paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the beautiful picture. I like. Did you see that when he was making the videos with the green screen behind him? Somebody
Scotch tape.
Yeah, so somebody had put up a bunch of videos with like the G-Man green screen, like the guys dancing behind him and shit.
Who let Brett Keenan in this room?
Pretty funny.
I know this guy ain't got a
God.
the G-Man. Hey, Brett. What happened to that rap, Brett? I need you to do that rap. Come on. How does it go? Yo, G-Man, this is all about you. I'm a lyrical rapist.
Isn't it amazing how he can have actually like carry on a doesn't with himself? Like
he finds a way to interrupt himself.
It's from the years of being isolated from his peers.
So happy,
Yeah.
He doesn't have friends in real life. He just fucking talks to himself.
I find it fascinating how someone can overtalk themselves.
So I think that I scared Vaughn away. Like I checked in on that website that I caught him in with all the bestiality porn shit.
Oh yeah.
And
You mean G-Man's friend?
G-Man's Fred Von Helton, the guy that's totally into bestiality that I presented all the evidence
Michael
for.
Jackson liked animals. I thought he was into kids. You know
And
what I mean?
he's
Why is he into animals?
so
I
like
thought
with the Von Helton stuff, he hasn't gone back to the site since then.
Yeah.
He's so I'm guessing he's probably took my advice and probably created a new account that wasn't actually under the name Von Helton.
It's going to be a HB this time.
Yeah, probably something like that. Like I don't think he's done with his fucking dog mods and all that other shit, or his like little kid mods, but
Well, we were talking about this last night. Here's my theory about why Von cut his hair, because he has that dog. I'm pretty sure he has fleas.
Can I invite my brother Beckel here?
Well, there's 6 people,
Who
so
loves
now.
Trump, and I would like to rebuke him for loving Trump, if you don't mind. I'd like to get him in here so we can talk about Trump, if you guys don't mind. Because we need to talk about something. Nobody here is talking. Nobody's talking.
Why do you hate Obama?
Obama? Because he's married.
Why do you hate Obama?
He married a man and managed to have 2 kids with that man.
Yeah. So I think that so Von's probably going to go back to hiding there for a bit.
So I guess it wasn't a man.
He got scared away from his safe space, and go back to making videos.
Well, he found a new
I'm
safe
trying to
space.
get my brother-in-law in here.
You talk like the Knicks play.
I'm trying to get my brother-in-law in here because I married Beckel's sister. I've always been married to his sister.
You'll never be
you see that
married. You
pathetic,
will never be married,
Blue.
B-boy.
Oh, please. I'm next in line.
Blue.
Yes?
I'm next in line.
Yes.
I just want to give up the chocolate
Did you
right
did
now.
you see that? Do you see that
I'm
pathetic
at
Von
one.
Helton video he put out the other day? The Stolen Valor one.
Oh, just 4 hours of him sulking.
Yes, where the kids interrupt him constantly. More stolen valor, more lies about Sandy Hook. Yes, I'm going through it.
Where's
Yeah.
my soda?
Me and Kenny are
Where's
best
my
friends.
it's
soda?
It's funny, like
Kenny are
because this is the thing. This is the
friends.
thing with Von Helton.
We are
I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and what Von Helton does is that he takes, like, when people accuse him of doing something, he completely misrepresents it and retells it in a way that it isn't the way that people are challenging him. So when people say that, like, he is an army washout, that he went into the army for 6 months, he washed out, he's RE3, can't re-enlist without a waiver. Essentially, he failed out of the military. He goes on his channel and he talks about this, like, these guys didn't think that I wasn't in the army. Well, here are some pictures of me in the army. It's just like, well, no, it wasn't that you weren't in the army. It was that you washed out. You have a bunch of pictures taken on the same day, it looks like, and
Von didn't fulfill his contract. It's that simple.
But that doesn't change the fact. Like, that's not evidence against the claim. The claim is that he didn't fill his contract, and that we know that one's true. And it's the same thing where, like, you go and you present you present all the evidence that shows that Von is into bestiality, that Von's downloading all these mods for this video game so he can watch animals have sex with people. And then he goes on and he makes this he's
I
talking to
suggest we
G-Man there.
always talk when the thing speaks. Yeah, good job, Staka. You're perfect at that. You won't let anyone overtalk you.
So
I don't think
Especially
G-Man has
the
realized that
thing we have
Sokka's
in
mic
here.
is louder.
Yeah, so with so with the Von Helton thing with the animals, like, there's all this evidence that Von Helton mods his video games so that he can watch animals have sex with very young-looking girls. Yeah, and how does Von Helton spin this when he talks to G-Man? He says, "Well, they accused me of having sex with my daughters." No one ever said that Von Helton had sex with his daughters. No one accused him of that. The closest to that was saying that it's a good thing that he masturbates to video games so he stays away from his daughters. That's about as close as they came to that, but nobody actually accused him of that. So again,
There was one person who did that, but that was years ago.
Yeah, well, but it wasn't in the room the other day. But this is like the retelling of it. Like, he's got to take the most he's got to take something, as people say, blow it out of proportion. It's like the perfect example of, like, a straw man argument. Nobody's saying this stuff, but this is what he's arguing against. And then you have, like, idiots here that actually believe this shit when he talks to them.
Now, Sokka, I'm curious. Have you checked out the Nats and the Pizza channel?
I actually got 1,000 subs on GTV. I thank every last one of you for it. I accomplished the goal with the help of the atheists.
No, would you please shut up, Thing? Go back and keep talking about Bond and don't let the Thing speak. No, don't speak, Thing. Don't speak, Thing. Hey, Thing, don't speak. The Thing is talking. The Thing is talking. The Thing is talking.
Congratulations to G-Man on 1,000 subscribers. You know, that's. Oh, hey, G-Man, I wouldn't make too many goat noises. Von Helton might try to fuck you.
Oh, Von Helton's going to try to fuck you.
See, G-Man's trying to attack Von Helton right now.
Show him your horse vagina, G-Man. Hey, G-Man, show Von your horse vagina.
Yeah, keep on making farm animal sounds. That's a good way to turn Von Helton on.
Cookies. I love Oreos, but you ain't getting the chocolate. You ain't getting.
But but it's the same thing with G-Man. Like G-Man again, he's an idiot. So like our conversation the other day, where it's just like you say that just like, listen, you know, like all you do is repeat these buzzwords. You know, you don't think for yourself. And
then he called you a pedo. Let's not forget that, Sokka. Let's not forget him calling you a pedo.
But that's when he called me a pedo. That's just him admitting that he's got no fucking argument. You know, like he has to lie. He has to lie. He has to do it. And the thing is that nobody believes him. Nobody takes his shit seriously. So it's not even really a concern to me. So when it comes to the stuff yesterday, like you know, we asked him like that he starts trying to make this argument for objective morality. He's saying that, you know, we nobody, all these atheists, they can't have objective morality because they don't believe in God. And then you try to ask him to, you know, to defend this notion, be like, hey, well, can you define what a moral objectivist is, and can you form an argument for why moral objectivism is true? And he couldn't do this. Like, he couldn't actually defend that argument. So instead, what he had to do is he had to go back to the other point that I said, which was that you know, he doesn't think for himself. But he doesn't think for himself. And what was his evidence that he doesn't that he thinks for himself? Was that he started bringing up the JFK conspiracy. Yeah. Out of all the things that we're talking about, he had to start talking about the JFK conspiracy. But the funny thing about this isn't even him thinking for himself. You know, this is him just regurgitating what he watched on some conspiracy website. It's actually the antithesis of not being thinking for yourself. You know, all he's done is just repeating the claims that of one person and subtracting them with the claims of another person. You know, so he's actually not even doing anything. And he can't actually have a conversation, which is why he just kind of sits around and jumps around in the background like an idiot.
Well, yeah, it's because if he ever stops talking, he has to think. So he just never stops talking.
Well, he doesn't think, you know, and that's the issue that he has. You know, and this is like I'll tell you, like most of the theists that have been kind of like in this community that, you know, for like when I came first came in here, they had at least they had the common sense to realize that when they weren't actually like, you know, getting any you know, they weren't winning any arguments, that they were just looking like idiots, that a lot of them just kind of moved on with their life. You know, they just says, okay, well, this internet thing's not working. You know, but G-Man that doesn't faze him. G-Man doesn't realize that he's never really won an argument or a debate ever. You know, he just sits there and, you know, just
he's G-Man.
Says the stupidest thing. He's not
really a Christian. He's a performer, right?
Well, yeah,
we all live around Christians every day. They don't act like this.
And I never.
How many other Christians have you ever talked to that when they were losing an argument called you a pedophile? Like that's pretty much unique to just G-Man. Like I've never even heard that before. Like I haven't even actually talked to any single person ever that ever said that. You know, but you know, that's what he does. You know, like he doesn't actually have any arguments. All he does is just.
Never called Blue a pedophile.
No,
I called a pedophile.
You called Sokka.
Jerry pedophile. I don't know what you're talking
about. Though, Sokka, it's not really an insult because he offers safe haven to pedophiles and sexual deviants.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like he made an entire video, you know, justifying a pedophile for like Matt Bell. You know, like the G-Man is pro pedophile. You know, even by his own admission, by the videos that he's made. Plus, he hangs out with Von Helton. You know, another guy that he gives shelter to Von Helton, and you know, when Von Helton comes around, a guy who has you know, we have pretty much, you know, like, you know, proof that he's into bestiality and he's into young-looking girls. You know, so these are the people that G-Man is sheltering. You know, sheltering and defending. He's sheltering and defending pedophiles and people that are into bestiality. And then he goes around and tries to call people names and insults, and he tries to levy the same like challenge. This is the unoriginal part. Is right. That so we go out and we show conclusively that Von Helton's into bestiality, And what's G-Man doing? Well, he's in the room calling everybody else, animal fuckers. And, it's the same thing. Like, when G-Man, when Von Helton told G-Man that people had accused him of pedophilia, he came into a room and started calling people pedophiles.
Well, his ears perk right up. He's like, "Oh, you're accused pedophile? Come on in, hang out with me."
Sleep with that intern,
Matt Bell. Come on, I'll defend him.
It's weird, like how often he just goes to these topics.
Hotel.
But I mean, it's weird. It's what do you expect from G-Man? Like honestly, he's just not even really worth like having a conversation.
I did not sleep with that intern. We was up all day long.
I don't know.
It's a similar parallel with all these other guys, right? Like he's stuck in this kind of adolescent power fantasy, drowning in a sea of sexual retardation.
Yeah.
Him, Von Helton. I mean, you run through the list. That's what they share in common. Right?
Yeah, like they were able to reach a certain amount of subscribers on YouTube by just acting like complete, caricatures of themselves.
And what it is like it's a minstrel show. Like that's the best way to describe it. It's a minstrel show. G-Man might as well slap on blackface and start dancing for everybody because that's pretty much what he's doing, like right now.
It's like the Jerry
sad thing
Springer
is
show.
the sad thing is like he doesn't realize that the way he acts, he's not making himself look good.
No, it's
Like,
like the Jerry. Yeah, it's like the Jerry
I
Springer
understand
show.
that he's very animated right now because he was on an actual successful YouTube channel, and he had an actual audience watching him. So
he acts like he's high on something.
Well, no, he thinks that he accomplished something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're laughing at him. He's just on because he's an idiot, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, that's how he built up the subscriber base for his main channel. His main channel is consistent of a bunch of people that followed him when Drunken Peasant was even bigger. Like nobody actually watched his videos. He has all these subscribers, but like less than 1% of the subscribers actually watch the videos that he puts out there.
Yeah. He has like 13,000 subs, and I don't think he has one video that has broken 1,000.
Well, I mean, he's got a couple out there. Actually, ironically enough, G-Man's video on bestiality is his most popular video.
Well, that's a hard one to watch.
coincidence. What a coincidence.
Yeah,
It's a
I know.
hard one to
Weird,
watch
huh?
because you have to try to hear over Ken Jones.
Maybe that's why he tracks people like Von Helton. I don't know. But like Dragnot's got like 2,000 subscribers, right around there. Like so, like what is it? Like a sixth of what G-Man has.
You guys have heard about those
And G-Man Dragnot gets more views than G-Man. Like if Dragnot goes live, he could have 100 people watching him right there. When was the last time that G-Man ever had 100 people watching one of his live streams? He doesn't actually ever have anybody watch his streams.
Right.
No. Hang on one second. I can actually answer that question because his live show after his debate with Jake from Bible Reloaded, when he told an atheist he would be glad to see him in hell, Jake was on his Twitch stream, and his entire Twitch stream, they rated his chat.
Huh.
So his chat went from like 16 people to almost 70.
That's funny.
Until, Jesus is Lord started banning people.
No, that's only views that G-Man gets. G-Man gets hate views, But it all it does is it justifies what G-Man's doing because they're gonna hate you just like they hated Jesus. That's what goes through his mind.
The funny thing about that live show is the people that came into his chat from Jake's channel, they weren't saying anything like offensive. They were just posting emojis of corn because he was wearing a corn hat.
That's kind of funny, actually.
But apparently that either triggered G-Man or it triggered Jill because, he has to start, deleting, comments because they're not nice.
Well, they're also thin-skinned. Like you think that these people that derive their entire value from the internet would have a little bit more thick skin when coming to like these hangouts, but they don't. Like G-Man's like one of the most thin-skinned guys I've ever met before in my life.
They get real easily insulted real quick.
Well, I mean, that's why I told Vaughn, like, no one is saying that he needs to leave the internet because he's the good guy and the internet is reserved solely for bad people.
By the way, I'm G-Man, guys, in case you're wondering.
It's the fact that the internet is reserved for people who are not, sensitive little bitches. And, like, Vaughn, G-Man, they're classic examples of, a bitch.
Oh, yeah, it is. The funny thing, too, is that their channels would actually be more successful if they actually allowed and addressed criticism. You know, like one of the reasons why people don't watch Von Helton, you know, or stop watching Von Helton is you couldn't actually engage with him. You know, like the people. Yeah,
they'll just sit
people,
there and read the comments.
You guys
And,
remember,
this person said this. You're a troll. Goodbye, troll, because I have power.
Yeah, it's funny. Like if you take a look at his videos are the most sanitized things out there, because you can't have an opinion that you know that Von Helton doesn't like. You know, if you say, hey, I disagree with you on this, then it's just like, well, then what the fuck you doing watching me? Get the fuck out of here. Because if you don't fall in line with everything that he says, he'll just ban you from the chat.
Well, you got to think, like, how many people has Von Helton just completely pulled a 180 on and just started shitting on because they either criticized him or they disagreed?
Oh,
And,
well,
like,
definitely. You know what? I'd say
learn.
I mean, G-Man does the same thing, too. So, like, you know, what do you expect?
Like,
I mean, how many times have G-Man and, like, Von Helton fucking done 180s on each other?
Oh, yeah.
You know?
When G-Man was on the Raging Atheist channel with Von, like, they weren't getting along.
It always happens when the money tap turns off, boys.
Yeah.
When they get their cock slapped and they say no more, all of a sudden they fucking...
I can't even find your channel account. Where are you?
Well, I mean, that's why G-Man's going after Mark is because,
where's your channel at?
you know, Mark right now, I would say you're basically an uncle, Mark.
It's screen share. It's stock account. Screen share.
I mean, your brother bought a grown man for $1,000.
Share
And
yeah,
no, you're an uncle.
So I
like,
can
it's really weird. It's just
subscribers. Tell them
See, it's very nice. Like, I didn't realize that you could buy a grown man for $1,000 and G-Man will throw in a free wrench.
oh, well, damn.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah, he'll give you mod powers on his channel because, well,
All right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I belong to you now.
Anyway, guys, I'm going to go to my successful YouTube channel where I have almost 14,000.
But it's just like it's funny, like so like he only derives value from his YouTube channel, and he thinks that his YouTube channel is successful. It's not.
It's very
I mean, the funny thing is that like when I do a when I do a live hangout, I can do a live hangout at like 10 o'clock at night on a random fucking time, unannounced completely, like once every month. And I get more live viewers than G-Man does. Like, it's fucking pathetic. Like, I'll get like fucking like 70, 80 people watching the channel.
Junior.
And G-Man gets like what, like 16, maybe 30 if it's a fucking like a hot.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
But it's fucking pathetic. And not only is it pathetic, it's like it's funny because these guys like most of the people that watch G-Man, and G-Man acknowledges this. This is the thing too. Like G-Man is acknowledging it, that the only people that watch his channel are dragoons. You know what he calls dragoons, and they watch it because it's fucking funny. And if you want to see something hilarious, is that watch when like G-Man starts doing a live stream, and then Dragnot starts up a stream.
Oh my God, the fella's here.
Because the beautiful thing I find right now is the reason that he is so animated is because no one in this room is giving him what he wants.
He ran.
Exactly.
So when when G-Man's doing a live stream, then Dragnot starts up a live stream, and all the people leave G-Man's channel, and you can see exactly how many people are watching his channel, because he goes from having like 32 viewers to 8. You know, he's got like those 8 last ball lickers that actually give a fuck what G-Man has to say.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Looks like we're watching a Vonga.
There you go.
Looks like it, yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure Shani is kind of screening people right now because I don't know if you saw it, but a couple people porn bomb several times the other night.
Yeah, they did.
And then it's very curious that Sabella finally, kind of just shows up, and then Scientist Sam, like that, it seems very sketchy. And if I echo right now, let me know, because I had to take my headset off because my phone's about to die.
I was about to say good night. I thought I was out of here. What happened there? I thought
But
confused. He's got all the bright lights.
Yeah.
G-Man needs really step-by-step instructions to leave a fucking online room. It's pathetic.
I think that glue that he huffed before he came in starting to wear off. He's starting to.
If I can find out what this lump is,
probably.
find out what this lump
That glue.
So, like I'm saying, if I do a live stream, it's funny because I'll get like 60, 70 people watching my channel, and I don't even have a serious channel. And so it's fucking pathetic that like I get like that many people to watch mine. But G-Man with 14,000 subscribers can't get more than 30 people to watch his channel at any given time.
Now,
You know,
Sokka, I'm going to interrupt you right now because you need to bite your tongue, sir. You are a serious content creator.
No, I'm a serious YouTube content creator, retired. You know, I did it for a month. It was fun.
Hey,
I also
it's
got
me. I'm just
like,
trying to make him cry in the side chat.
you're gonna make G-Man cry?
I thought Sabella was saying something.
That'll never happen. Especially by her. I'll make her cry.
But G-Man, you know what? Have you ever noticed how insecure G-Man is around females? Like,
Oh, yeah, because he's intimidated.
He really is. It's fucking like I mean,
think
Sokka,
dealing with his own latent homosexuality, really. I mean, he even has a penis's haircut. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, like I was gonna say, like it's that, and like when you watch him eat things on screen, you ever notice he's never eating healthy food? Like on his GTV channel, he's all about alternative health. Like I just wonder, is there anything in life that he's actually good at?
Thank you for the information.
Barrels.
What more information you
I don't think so.
That much
I mean,
more.
like I'm trying to think like if I was G-Man, like what would be my drive, my purpose, you know, and like what would I want to do with my life? And I would think that would probably be his ministry.
That's what I had today.
But his ministry is pathetic because he can't even offer a defense to his faith. Like when he had an opportunity to preach the other day, you know, he was given an opportunity to provide a defense for his faith, you know, mainly on the topic of his moral objectivism, and he ran away. Like he just couldn't handle it. Yeah, like he couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle the conversation, and you know, couldn't even muster a defense. And how many opportunities did I give him? I gave him like fucking 30 opportunities for him to answer that question, and he couldn't do it.
You will believe.
Well, here's a funny thought. It popped in my head a couple days ago. I think that's one of the reasons why he's never monetized his channel, because he sees his channel as his ministry. But if he monetizes, he has to pay taxes.
Oh damn!
You think so? Yeah. I don't know.
Like I'm pretty sure he does not know how to fill out a W-2 or an I-9.
Maybe, but I mean, how much money do you think he'd really get? I mean, there's a couple people out there that are stupid enough to give him money, like Mark's brother. Sorry, Mark.
Hey, you're fine. You're fine.
But like
he might make some.
Yeah, but Sokka, do you honestly believe that he has the attention span to actually get through a tax form?
And guess who
no.
Yeah, I have no doubt he has no idea how to fill out an I-9.
Which is sad, right?
I wonder what if he's ever actually done taxes. Do you think that he's ever actually done taxes?
He might have when he was younger.
Nominated for dumb blank.
Yeah, there's no way a guy like G-Man doesn't use last names. He cashes checks at the liquor store, and he doesn't do taxes. Let's be honest here, folks.
Well,
don't
probably
be
because he gets paid cash under the table.
Secular opinion. Don't be mean. He clearly goes to the check cashing place. Like,
the cash for you on the corner, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's where he got the credits for the house.
Like, have you ever like hear like nowadays like you know somebody say like you know it's like oh well I don't have a bank account. And you're like who the fuck doesn't have a bank account? But then you meet somebody like G-Man, you're like you know what? This is the kind of guy that probably doesn't have a bank account.
I got 4 of them.
Well, I mean, he did have the lockbox with all the cash to debate Matt Dillahunty because they had to have the fundraiser. He just got out of the hospital.
He's probably got like an old can full of like dollar bills,
like a mason jar.
Yeah, a mason jar, maybe like a swear jar or something like that.
He might have a couple buried in the yard.
He probably has a jar for every time he has a gay thought, and that jar has got to be full.
Oh,
I would
man.
say like several jars.
You know what? I just watched that video the other day. Like look it up. I think it's on. I think it's on G-Man. I think it's on Drake's channel, but I can't remember. But there's this great video where G-Man has to is you know just talking to the camera, doing his usual monologue thing, and talks about how he needs to pray for strength to not have gay thoughts.
Oh yeah,
G-Man has to pray for strength not to be gay. Like,
well, you're also
like who does that? I don't think I know anybody who has to pray for strength not to be gay.
Well, you're also forgetting that he had to wake up in the middle of the night, and he was driven to make a video talking about transgenders.
Yeah, it's just weird, right?
Like,
it really is.
I don't understand why you just have sudden thoughts of transgenderism in the middle of the night, and it forces you awake. And you have to make a video about it.
That disgusting stuff off of my mind.
But the sad thing is, like, he's still trying to get us to acknowledge him.
a man like Laura.
But he's just
a woman.
Yeah, like.
But he's just like it's like I said though, like so he wakes up in the middle of the night, and he's been thinking about transgendered people, and then he makes a video talking about how he has to pray the gay away for himself. Like at this point in time, it's just like you almost feel bad for him because it's just like, G-Man, just accept who you are.
Yeah, I genuinely do feel bad for him.
Like if I think that like if G-Man's gay, and I think that there's a really good chance that G-Man is gay, I think he should just come out of the closet and just embrace it. Like he'd be probably a lot happier.
Let me go back to the closet. The Rock says, know your role. And
but I think that it's too bad. It's too bad because like
what I love about it. I got to be honest, Sokka. Like I love I hate to use the phrase because it gets overused, but like the toxic masculinity when this guy is just a complete pussy. Like I was in New York, like. I know that like I have like a very acerbic way of talking, but I'm honestly a harmless guy. Like I'm very nice, but this guy was like shook. He knew what hotel I was saying. Although I should say, even if I told him, I did tell him what hotel, he's got the attention span of a gnat. So I might as well have not, I might as well have not told him. But it's really interesting.
Room he was in, and I was not interested.
Yeah.
At all.
Well, he was scared of the fact that somebody told him you had a gun.
Remember what his excuse was? Like he said that he thought that
I had a gun.
Yeah, you had a gun. Like that's just.
And I've only shot. And I've told you, like I've only shot a gun once when I was in Ohio visiting my friend. Funny story about that. He's a good friend of mine. He's a bit of a pothead, and so he said, he goes, hey man, do you want to smoke weed before we go shooting? And I was like, I for sure don't want to do that.
Out of curiosity, what part of Ohio, if you don't mind my asking?
He lives just outside of Cleveland. I can't remember the exact. Yeah, he does like loan stuff, mortgage loans, I want to say.
Yeah, I just asked because when we had the talk with Vaughn, I let Vaughn know that I live in Ohio. And I live about 3 hours away from where Vaughn lives. And Vaughn asked me, he's like, so you live in Dayton or you live in Toledo? Well, I said 3 hours away, not on the opposite end of the fucking state.
I was looking at like Vaughn's hometown there the other day. Like, man, like it is a fucking shitty looking place to live. No wonder he spends his time on the internet. But I can go out and I can buy a couple properties there. Maybe
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because Rev and Shanny were looking at it earlier, just looking at Clay County.
Look at that.
I do have relatives in Clay County, and Clay County is the poorest county in Kentucky.
Ain't that sexy?
They have some great properties for cheap prices.
Look how sexy that is. Look at that.
Yeah, you can buy like a 3-bedroom house for like $45,000.
I was looking at this really nice plantation style house for I think it was like a 6-bedroom for like $290,000.
Well, Sokka, if you need a field hand, G-Man's not against slavery in and of itself. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, as long as I don't treat him poorly, right?
Yeah,
and you have to pay him.
Well, you don't beat him every once in a while, right?
Yeah, but as the Bible would say, Mark.
Yeah, beat him light.
It's only. Yeah, exactly. He can beat him within an inch of death. Just no further.
Yeah, Mark, G-Man has no problem with slavery just as long as you pay him and, you have him do good things.
Well, that's not slavery then. That's indentured service.
Well, no, because G-Man has proven this to us that, we're all slaves. I mean, look at the NBA. Yeah, look at the NBA. Everyone in the NBA is a slave.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant's definitely a slave.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. Poor guy.
Well, I mean,
he's a rich slave. I'm happy for him.
Well, like, going back even further, like when you look at professional wrestling, professional wrestling, that one thing that G-Man tried to do and utterly failed because he's fragile. They're slaves because they're under contracts.
Oh, okay.
Well, the way they treat the way the WWE treats its wrestlers, that's terrible.
It is bad.
I don't call it slavery because it's not, but it's awful.
Yeah, the slavery thing is kind of it's immaterial because the point I was trying to make was that the one thing that G-Man has wanted to do forever and just utterly failed at because he got hit with a chair and it hurt. But if he would have gotten a contract with the WWE, he would have been a slave. But that's fine.
Listen, I have to take off here, and I know I'm going to trigger G-Man before I leave. But you notice how I pacified this little bitch?
Yeah.
You know, just being in here. Isn't that fucking funny?
Yeah, he's like a puppy.
Hashtag bitch made fucking G-Man yet again.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later.
Have a good night, Sokka.
I think Shanny should come in here and play a video. So is G-Man gone?
Hey. I'm sorry. Hold on. Did Michael Jackson leave?
No, you're not sorry. No. Don't hold on. Just stay where you were and shut the fuck up.
Hey,
No, I'm not going to be quiet, you stupid meth-smoking bitch made.
Blue, we had a good thing going, man. Like we're talking to each other and we're not giving him what he wants.
Yeah, you didn't ignore him.
Okay, well, you're right. Well, then I will find that.
Yeah, like if we just have a conversation.
Oh, no. Is G-Man gone? No. What will my heart do?
No, he's still here.
Who of you is into NFL football?
I'm an Atlanta fan.
I'm a Chiefs fan.
Oh, I'm a Browns fan.
I'm sorry.
Go fuck your mouth. Chiefs helped the Browns out this week. Chiefs look good. They could win the Super Bowl easy. Shit.
Oh, come on. I'm a fan, but well, with
the Chiefs look good. They
that quarterback they got, awesome.
I mean, I'm just sad that we can't have secular join this talk because, I mean, we're talking about football, not that dirty Canadian football.
Oh, come on back in, Sam.
Well, guys, I got to jump off here myself because I got to work in the morning. So y'all have a good night. Shani, Rev, thanks for having me.
It's been fun.
Yeah. Have a good night, y'all.
All right, good night.
See you, Southern man.
You know, you can... Hey, can you turn that up a little bit?
Yeah, I can't hear it at all. So G-Man is as useless as ever. So, you know, it's like you said. Let's go back to
watermelons.
I love you, Danny.
I can go get a couple of melons, less. Less watermelons. He only went in right.
I
go get a couple of melons, less.
Videos. I want to see them more intimate videos.
Oh, what a surprise. G-Man's another melon fucker. No.
So anyway, guys, so what are we talking about here? I heard you guys talking about...
Wait a minute. Von Helton is not a melon fucker. He's a melon despoiler. Von Helton destroys melons. He leaves...
Oh, there's other melon fuckers on YouTube. Trust me, I don't want to get into
Oh, okay, yes. Forgive me. You're forgiving me.
That's
right. I thought you were talking about Von Helton. You're right. There could be another melon fucker.
G-Man, were you smart enough to cut a vacuum hole in your first one, or did you get stuck?
Hitler was an atheist. Everybody knows it.
Anyways.
We in the room. We're not even in the room, are we?
You know, I would respect G-Man a little more if he didn't love Stalin. He just loves Joseph Stalin so much.
Stalin, Blue, because you can't wait to kill us Christians, dude. We know it. You ain't.
No, you're the one who loves Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin loves G-Man. G-Man is Stalin. G-Man is Stalin.
Sexuality is a sin. I definitely.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Passion. Let me explain what I mean by that. I'm not into the
great one. This is a great one.
And having sexually doing things with each other sexually and whatnot. Calling that a relationship or whatever. You know what I mean? That is something that I hate, and I do everything in my power to avoid. As far as me doing any of that kind of stuff and whatnot, I fill my mind with the Word of God. I retain God in my thoughts on this particular topic. I remind myself that scientifically speaking, it is unnatural. And the Holy Spirit was constantly reminding me about God's word, and it keeps me away from that.
You know, I don't need any reminding to like women, G-Man. I don't need any. Wow. I'm sorry now. I feel bad, man. I take. Hey, secular. I take everything back I said about G-Man. Mark, I take everything back. I take it all back because if G-Man is struggling constantly with these sexual feelings.
The elite.
You are struggling with your sexual feelings.
All elite
repressing your homosexuality there, G-Man.
Raw.
How's it going, Sam?
Not too bad.
My old close personal friend, Scientist Sam. I am glad to see you here.
You know what, Blue? I have changed my mind on my evaluation of you because I think that there was I've come to realize that for people who are just completely irredeemable like G-Man and Jason Burns. There needs to be a someone like Blue. And I want to apologize for fucking with you. It was in good fun and not out of genuine malice. I hope you understand that. But
I understand, and I also wish to forgive, as I know, as all of you know, Scientist Sam is one of the smartest guys you'll ever meet. And
you're being too nice to me.
No, that's true, motherfucker. Don't correct me. And also,
I care about what y'all think, please.
The work you're doing, the scientific work, it has huge real-world implications, doesn't it? I've only heard a little bit about this, but please try to explain it to me. Try to explain it to me, but no, what you're doing has huge real-world implications, that RNA shit. Correct?
Well, it's been interesting because essentially, you know, it changes the way that we interpret a lot of studies when we're looking at how cells react to stress. And one of the main stresses that I look at is the flu.
I finally got a scientist in here.
It's been really cool. I can't go into too much detail because we're actually just getting done wrapping up preparing the manuscript, and my co-advisor / co-author finally got to it today. So that's been gratifying. So hopefully I can bang it out and have it in submission. And I actually got accepted to speak at or invited to speak, I should say, at the Southern California Graduate Biomedical Sciences Graduate Student Symposium in a week. So I'm pretty excited. There was times when it wasn't going as well, but it's been going a lot better lately.
Say, Sam, forgive me for bringing up this all, but check out Jason Burns' channel today. The video of him getting married was just posted. And I'm not making that up.
Burns, the guy that the atheist community tried to get to kill himself. I love Jason Burns. It proves that you atheists are so immoral.
Do you know we talk? Hey, G-Man, do you know me and Jason talk to each other on Facebook?
Forget about what you guys did to him.
Well,
you know when you did the Raspberry, when you did the Brett, when you did the other people here on the internet.
I will, if I have a chance. I've been just dreadfully busy lately. A good friend of mine's getting married in like 2 weeks, so
sure.
And I'm a groomsman, so we had the bachelor party this past weekend, and I'm then traveling this weekend for. There's a big tournament in Southern California that I'm going to go watch my friends compete in, and then the next weekend is the symposium, and after that's the wedding. So it's just been a consistent month of just like every weekend I'm out of town. So if I get a chance, I will take a look. It's literally been where I have not kept up with as much YouTube stuff. Like most of the YouTube videos I watch are, at least lately, have been about like sharpening kitchen knives because, you know, I like to cook a lot. What's up with you, Blue? What have you been up to? What's been keeping you busy?
Well, I ended the show, as you know, and yeah, I also been, well, not this week, but a little less active with YouTube and all that stuff. Certainly. Drag has been less active too, or at least compared to what he used to do.
Yeah, you know, I got to give it to Drag. You know, it took him, I think, a little bit of a little bit of a kick in the ass, but you know, we were talking and we worked hard, and I helped him with like some form emails for when I was looking into getting into labs towards the beginning of grad school, and you know, he did the work and he got into a lab, and I think that's really hugely awesome, because that's the first step. You know, you can say that going to college is the first step, but really what it is once you get into a lab, you start getting into a research environment, and that's where you actually build the skills. You know, the classroom stuff is just, it's useful, but it's more of sort of that foundational background stuff, you know. So I'm super excited for him, and you know, he's had to, you know, for GPA reasons and also for just time reasons, he has to focus on that stuff, which I'm happy for him, you know.
Let me go congratulate Drag.
Forgive me for asking this, but you grew up and have lived in California for most of your life. Is that correct?
Not at all. No. I'm from Chicago originally, and then I went to undergrad and master's in Connecticut. Yeah, so I've been all around.
See, I'm completely wrong. I thought you were native Californian. I had that completely wrong.
No, man, I can stand the cold, and I know where things are. Like I know that Cleveland is near Lake Erie.
Hey, don't make fun of. Oh, that's a low blow. Low blow.
No, I'm not against Cleveland. Like my girlfriend is from
from California.
From California. My girlfriend's
Don't you live in California now, though?
I live in California now, and
no
one knows any geography. Like this is a consistent argument I've had with my girlfriend, where I'll say like, she'll be like, "Oh, well, you're from the East Coast." I'm like, "Nah, I'm from Chicago. It's in the middle of the country." She goes, "Well, it's east of here," and I was like, "By that logic, Montana is East Coast. What?"
Right. Oh well, anything east of Barstow is east of.
It's East Coast to
is
them,
the East
right?
Coast to those people.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys, no chocolate for Shanny. That's what I'm saying in the background. No chocolate for Shanny.
Hold on, I'm going to play some Von Helton here.
Are we?
G-Man's friend.
Y'all stalkers, aren't y'all? Y'all ain't got nothing else to talk about, do y'all?
You know, honestly, I have to think.
Well, if you'd like, we could talk about something, but since you lie and don't take responsibility and don't answer, G-Man, we kind of have to leave you out and hope a bus hits you and runs over your ankles and then backs up to finish the job.
I understand that, Blue.
Well, secular opinion, I got to hand something to you is thank you for introducing me to King Cobra JFS.
Oh,
did you see that?
He's a gem.
Did you see the
documentary
that
in his life is not even funny. If it wasn't for him,
I have such mixed feelings about
if it
Cobra.
wasn't for Von Helton, nobody in this room would have freedom.
The thing with Cobra that he has over like Von Helton and G-Man and Brett Keenan, these guys, is that he actually accepts his fail. Like he has no qualms about. He's just like, this is me. This is how I'm quirky. I mean, is he a bit of an e-moocher? Oh, of course. All the same like criticisms still apply. But he does. That's where these guys, ironically, their greatest fail is. They just don't accept that they're losers and that they're being laughed at, right? Like as being idiots.
I mean, we have example, number one in here.
Oh yeah, it's cringy.
But in the Think That documentary on Cobra, it was extremely anxiety-ridden for me watching him fucking fry those potatoes.
I'd like to welcome. I'd like to welcome extremely online scientists to the chat room. Hello, person. Why don't you come and introduce yourself? You can be no worse than some of the other chatters we've had.
In your life, can one of you miserable, poor, dumb scientists prove evolution is true for once in your life? Anybody?
Yes, I can right now. I can right now.
Do it.
Tailbone.
Oh
reach your stubby fingers around to your backside, G-Man, and feel for the bone.
From a rat.
Tailbone.
How does it prove you're evolved from a rat? How does it prove you're evolved from a rat?
I'm sure G-Man by now has quite an intimate knowledge of his backside.
Well, I mean, I don't know why. At this point, you have to wonder how slow on the uptake is this dude. Because like on a certain level, like I bet if I cared enough, if I was to just ask him, what is the central dogma of biology, he wouldn't have any clue, right? Like
I didn't ask you what the central dogma of biology was.
This is a guy who,
something
just
that
basic high school material is extremely difficult, and I feel sorry for him, right? And this is why you guys remember when I outlined the condition for debating him or Ronnie, that was going to be to read my master's thesis. Because I just wanted to see what they could parse out of, just out of roles. And the funny thing is I think that the work I did there was just extremely elementary compared to the stuff I do now, just by virtue of like I actually fucking know what I'm doing to some extent, But I think it's funny to look back.
That's true no matter what scholastic endeavor you're doing in. The stuff you did earlier on doesn't seem as, good as the stuff you do later. That's true for everything in scholastics.
Well, I always funnily think, like, when I got my master's, I was kind of up my own ass a little bit about it. And now I realize, like, fuck, like, I didn't know shit, But I think that's, like, kind of the fun thing about growing in life, right, is, like, figuring out, like, oh, God, 5 years ago, I was such a dumbass. Like, I hope that I still have that thought, 5 years.
5 years from now, of course. Well, that's the wonderful thing about studying history is that no matter what you do, you always know, there's so much I don't know. There's so much more I have to learn. No matter where you are, there's so much more to know.
So I'm not able to read as much as I want to anymore. But you know, it's a really good book about Rome, ancient Rome, is this book called that I've been reading. I'm like 200 pages in. It's called SPQR, and it's a view of like classical Rome, like, you know, sort of circa Roman, you know.
Is it
empire.
Historical fiction?
No. It's just history, but it only focuses on really the city of Rome. So they talk like about the foundation of Rome. They talk about like how did Rome become a power in the Mediterranean, but only kind of limitedly, in the sense that they always relate it back to the actual city itself. I haven't gotten to the part where they're actually like balls deep in being the biggest global empire. But it's really interesting. And they talk, and the author, who I think her name is Mary Beard. I'm sorry, I'm really fucking tired. I had jujitsu earlier tonight. But she's a Cambridge historian. And it's really well written, where she actually explains like what the data is. Like we found... One example was finding proof of like there was a period of Roman kings, and she actually outlined some of the archaeological evidence for it. It's super cool.
Yes, the Tartan Kings. Oh, I don't know if you ever saw it. There was a debate between that author, Mary Beard, and current PM Boris Johnson over Greece versus Rome. Which was better, Greece versus Rome?
Who is pro Greece?
Boris Johnson.
He would be.
But I got to tell you, Sam, the very idea of
Shanny, thank you for having me on here, Shanny. I hope you have
Trump.
You ain't getting the chocolate.
Donald Trump.
You ain't getting the chocolate. You ain't getting the chocolate. Chocolate.
No, don't be bothered by him. He's gonna, he's gonna turn this window out, and he's gonna watch Tranny. So just don't be bothered. Go on.
But I was thinking, Donald Trump couldn't even understood what he was watching in the debate of Greece versus Rome, as opposed to Boris Johnson, who was one of the participants. So as bad as that guy is, I mean, he is classically educated, and I respect that, and has a love for the classics, which I respect.